As a part of Postman's V10 release, the Postman team is very excited to launch the redesigned API Builder experience with native Git support. Postman's API Builder is a place for you to create APIs, manage the entire API lifecycle. The API Builder connects to the source code repository to automatically maintain API documentation, tests, and specifications alongside the code. In today's video, we will be going through how you can work with Git workflows using the API Builder in Postman. You will see a brand new and improved API Builder UI with easy navigation and improved overview that allows you to better manage your APIs. And we will also see how we can create, switch branches, as well as push and pull changes using the Git integration with Postman. Let's get started. We will first begin by setting up an API in the API Builder. To do this, you'll need to navigate to the API tab in your left-hand corner. You can either choose to create a new API or import one. Today, I'm going to be creating a brand new one from scratch. If you have a repository, you can quick start by connecting your repository. But today, I'll go ahead and get started by naming my API the Pet Store API. Here, what I can do is I can create a definition. I can do that by importing a definition as well as authoring a definition from scratch. Today, I'm going to be working with a definition that I have on my local repository, and I'm going to be going ahead and importing that from my local computer. This is a brand new feature in V10. This is a multi-file schema. The multi-file schema enables me to manage my APIs in a much better way. I now do not have to manage a large definition file anymore, and I can reference my files within one another by having a specified file structure. Here you can see that I have an Open API YAML that is Open API 3.0, and I'm referencing all of my associated YAMLs in corresponding folders. This is a brand new feature for V10, and I hope that it allows you to better organize your structure when you're working with your APIs. I wanted to give you a little bit of a closer look into the V10 UI. Here, I can do my test and automation in my overview folder. I can work on API performance. I can also manage deployments as well, all in one spot. Today, since I'm going to be working with Git workflows, I'm going to start off by connecting my repository. What I did here was I connected my repository and I was authorized by GitHub. Once authorized, I can select my GitHub organization. I can select my corresponding repository, as well as select which branches that I want to work on. I wanted to work with main branch today, but I wanted to also show you how I can create brand new branches, which I can create using this button here, but also using the native Git workflow. The API schema directory will create a directory for me, and it would also create a directory for my collections. I'm going to go ahead and connect my repository. Here towards the right of me, I can see a source control panel. You can see that all the files that I have initially committed when I connected my repository to my Postman API Builder folder. You can see all the files that have initially been changed, and I'm going to start off by creating my first commit. When I commit this folder, I can see all of my files that have been changed and have been added into my repository. After my first commit, you can see all of the files that have initially been added to my GitHub repository. You can click on View Difference to see any differences in the changes that I've made. I'm going to go take a look at my repository and see what I've committed. You can see that I've committed my Postman schema. These are all the files that I've initially connected when I created my first GitHub repository connection. I want to go ahead and take a look at making some changes in these files. Before I go ahead and do that, I want to first start and build a collection from my OpenAPI YAML file. To do that, I'm going to generate this from my API definitions. I'm going to name my collection. A collection is just a set of endpoints that are generated directly from your OpenAPI schema. Here I have my collections for all of the requests, for example, my GET requests and my POST requests that are all generated according to my specific OpenAPI definitions file. I want to go ahead and also commit these collections. I'm going to go ahead and do that by sending another commit to my repository. Now you can see that I've added my collections. If I go back to my repository, you can see that my collections have now been added along with my schemas. Let's say I want to build a brand new feature and I want to build that feature on a brand new branch. To do that, I can go to the bottom right-hand corner and I can create a feature called feature 1. By creating a branch called feature 1, this allows me to switch to that branch on my source control panel. Now, if I were to make any changes to my OpenAPI file, such as creating a new path, and if I were to create a brand new request, I can also create specific tests in my requests. I can commit these changes all to my new feature. After looking at my repository, I can see that my feature has recently pushed some changes, and I have multiple branches now in my GitHub workflow, in my GitHub repository. I'm going to go ahead and compare and pull these changes. In a normal setting, developers would like to review your changes. I'm going to go ahead and merge these specific changes, and then take a look at what that looks like on my Postman interface. If I switch my branch to my main branch, I can see in my source control panel that I have to pull down my specific changes to see those feature changes in my main branch. When I pull down those commits from my repository from Postman, I can go ahead and take a look at my new requests in my collection, as well as my new path in my OpenAPI YAML file. Being able to switch branches and commit, push and pull, and see the various different changes in your Git workflow history makes it a lot easier for developers to work collaboratively using Git repositories in Postman. I hope this video gives you a better insight on how to work with Git workflows and work with the source control panel and connect your specific repositories while creating interesting APIs using the API Builder. Thank you. I hope you have a great day.